Good morning. Welcome to episode number 6 of Tax Tips Tuesday. Myself, Alicia Lowen, owner of Decimal Accounting, Inc. And this is a live broadcast I am doing every week on Tuesday with my tax tips for both business owners and individuals. So today's topic is geared more towards business owners. And this is a strategy, a relatively simple strategy that you could use if you are either just starting out your business, or if you might be in a situation where you're feeling like, I'm working all the time, I have lots of revenue coming in, and why am I not actually making profit? Where is all my money going? It just seems to come in the door and go out the door just as fast. And so as a business owner, it's really important that you have some kind of strategy or plan for profit. You should always be thinking about, how can I make sure that I have profit in my business? And that may not be the same strategy for everyone, but I have one for you that is called the Rule of Thirds. And this profit strategy will work really well for people who run a small service business or a small retail store. So I have a few examples for you, but I'd like to start it off with a story. So when I was 18 or 19, one of my very first jobs was in an optical store, like an optician's office, where they're not the doctor, the optometrist, but they were a place that you could go to select nice, like, designer glasses frames and get your prescription filled there. And they had a whole selection of glasses that you could try on. So I was young, it was one of my first jobs, and I was responsible to restock the shelves. I'd take the new inventory that we got in of the glasses frames, and I would price them and put them on the shelves. So the owner told me to triple the price. And I was kind of shocked at the time because I didn't know a lot about business at this time. And so the owner was telling me, well, if the frame costs us $100, then you just triple that, put a $300 price tag on that pair of glasses, and put it on a shelf. If it's $150, you're going to triple it. Those frames are now $450, and maybe they're Gucci or some other brand name that would normally sell for $450. And this is what all of those stores are doing. And to the consumer, that might sound outrageous, but to a business owner, once you've been in it for a while, you realize it's actually not that easy to make a profit in the business. And so you have to have a plan for that. And if you're not seeing how other businesses are pricing their things, you may not really know where to start. So the Rule of Thirds is a good place to start. So basically what this means tripling those direct costs coming into your business. And the idea is, if you have a pie, so make it whatever flavor you want, maybe banana cream or key lime or pecan buttercrust. You have your pie, and then you split it into thirds. So 1/3 of all of it is your revenue. The entire pie is your revenue in your business. So you've got money coming in. Now, you don't want to be spending more than 1/3 of that pie on your overhead. So your overhead is going to be things like rent, utilities, your administrative wages, legal and accounting fees, those sorts of things that are necessary to keep your business running, but they're not actually directly producing income for your business. 1/3 of that pie goes to your overhead. Now, another third should be going to your direct costs. So in the example of the optical store, the frames cost is 1/3 of what that income is going to be. So in order to make that happen mathematically, we need to triple it. We need to triple the cost of the frames so that our direct costs is not more than 1/3 of the business. So that would be things like inventory and perhaps subcontractors, or wages for your employees that are directly producing income for your company. So I have a few, and then of course, the third section of those 3 sections of the pie, Rule of Thirds, is the owner's compensation. So ideally, out of every $100, you should have $30 to $35 for yourself as the owner of the company. either that's your own salary or that's profit that is left for you as the owner to take. So then here are my examples for you. So I mentioned this works well for small service businesses or retail stores. So let's say that you are a photographer and you are planning to do a shoot and you need to hire a second person, and it could be an employee, could be a subcontractor. You're going to want to make sure when you are deciding, well, what wage can I afford for this employee, that it's not more than a third of the income that that person is going to produce for you. For example, if I'm able to bill out an employee at $60 an hour, I should be paying that person $20 an hour. If I need to pay that person $25, then I should be billing them out at $75. So you can do it both ways. Either you decide how much you can reasonably charge for that and then go backwards to 1/3, or start with the wage, start with the subcontractor rate, and then triple it to get to the result of planning for your pricing. Okay, and then my next example would be for someone who is a website designer, graphic designer, marketing firms. You may have employees, so same thing there. Keep 1/3 in mind, or triple the rate of your employee, or subcontractors, same thing. Now this, I will say, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's not like you absolutely have to be doing this, but that's more what you should be striving for. So even if it's 50%, like I would kind of set that as somewhere that you don't want to go any higher than that. So if you're going to have to pay somebody $25 an hour and you think, well, I really can't reasonably charge any more than $50 an hour, it'll probably still work out okay, but you should be kind of going between, so let's say it was 25, so you should be between 50 and 75 on that 25. What is not going to work, and I will tell you, I have seen this before, because I think the business owner perhaps is just struggling with their pricing and not sure how to price things. What is not going to work is paying somebody $25 an hour and charging them out at 30. Because even though that $5 an hour might sound like, oh, well, I'm just sending this person out and they're going to make me $5 an hour and I don't have to do anything. That's not actually how it works, because so much of your money in the business is going to have to go towards the overhead, the admin, the other costs, that what's going to end up happening is all of your profit, all of what would have been left for you as the business owner is going to get eaten up because you haven't built in a large enough margin in this, and you're going to be the one paying out of pocket, you know, pulling in debts from your personal, taking out a second mortgage on your house just to keep your business afloat. And I'm sure that you did not get into business to be making less than minimum wage. So you have to have a plan, and then you need to follow that plan and be checking your financial statements to make sure that your plan is on track. Okay, so my next example would be for somebody who runs a hair salon. So let's say I'm a salon owner, and in my salon, I sell shampoo, conditioner, other hair products, a curling iron. So I would want to make sure that whatever price I'm purchasing that for, I would be able to get it at a rate that's lower than retail, because I'm going to purchase it from a wholesaler. So let's say I buy a curling iron and the cost is $50 on that curling iron. I should be selling it in my shop for $150. Okay. And then my next example is for a small retail store, or a store that would sell any sort of housewares. And I have seen this before, where sometimes people will do like a repurposed secondhand type shop, and that can work well, but you just have to be careful about the pricing. So if I buy something at the Salvation Army for $10 and I think, oh, I found such a great deal, and then I can resell it for $15, that's not enough of a markup for my store to actually make a decent profit, because I need to pay my rent. I need to keep the lights on in my store. I need to pay my employees. And it's more likely that my business is going to crash and burn because I have a problem with my pricing and with my margins. We don't want that to happen. So keep that in mind. If you are buying something for $10 and you think, well, I can't reasonably resell this thing for $30, then it's probably not worth $10. Or maybe you need to do something to it to upcharge it. Maybe you buy old scratched up, beat up furniture, and you refinish it and you repaint it, and now that item that cost you maybe $100 for a credenza in the first place, you've now finished it all up and now you can sell it for $300. Now you're going to be making profit in your business. Okay, and then my next question is, who would this not work for? So this strategy is not likely to work for trades and construction businesses. The idea is just not how the industry works for trades and construction. You will not be able to get away with purchasing a toilet at Andrew Jarrett or Home Depot for $100 and reselling it for $300. So more often in trades, they will do a smaller amount of markup on the materials, like 25 to 30% is typical. And then where they're making money really is on their service hours. So perhaps I'll touch on that on another topic, but this topic, the rule of thirds, is more a strategy that would work well for smaller service businesses or smaller retail stores. I hope you found the topic interesting today. Again, I'll say I am Alicia Lowen, the owner of Decimal Accounting, and if you are looking forward to next tax season, as we are starting to get set up now for the 2019 tax year, and if you are looking for someone that can help you out remotely, our procedure for tax season is very simple. We have a website that our clients sign into. You can access it from your phone, you can access it from a tablet or a laptop. You don't even have to leave the house or leave your office to have your taxes professionally filed. So we help businesses and individuals across Canada to get their tax returns done with our professional service. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then send me a message. My email is info@decimal.ca, and I am Alicia Lowen, and I will see you next week for episode 7 of Tax Tips Tuesday. Have a great day.